bookwithtina.com. Today we're going to talk about nurturing, we're going to talk about mothering, and we're going to talk about feminine energy. If you're a man, please stay and please watch, okay? Because there may be somebody you know, and or maybe you need to tap into your feminine side. We're going to just kind of dispel like a couple of myths that's going on, right? About that. So, I welcome you to my channel, Book with Tina. I am an intuitive coach that helps people to empower themselves, to enlighten themselves, and bring awareness maybe to some challenges you're facing in your life, maybe bringing victory confirmations to you in your life. It just depends on what's going on, right? Let me give you my disclaimer, okay? During the reading, I may understand, you may not. You may understand, I may not. We both may understand during the reading, or we both may not understand during the reading. I'm going to ask that you respect my perspective, and I will also respect your perspective as well. If the information that you're receiving is different from the information I'm providing, it's quite all right. Please share the message because it may be for me or someone else. Please do not use these readings as a form of therapy or advice. You've been blessed with the gift of discernment, so take the information you need and throw the rest away. Today I'm feeling the need. Normally I end my videos with this, but I'm going to start it with this today, okay? And what I'm going to say to you is make sure that you compliment at least 10 people a day, because you never know whose life you can change. You never know whose vibration you can raise up, and you never know what door of opportunity you can open up by simply paying the compliments. Sometimes people give compliments and we don't know how to receive, or we feel as though we are not worthy to receive some of these compliments. Oh, Tina, your hair looks great. Oh, does it? I didn't even get a chance to really do it today. And yesterday it was looking good, but and the meanwhile, the person that gave the compliment is like, oh my God, somebody's got some self-esteem issues, and oh my goodness, why can't they just accept this? I really didn't want to hear about all these other things that are really going on, right? That's kind of sort of how people will, but on the inside, they may be thinking, on the outside, they may be like, girl, just take the compliment. Or woman, just take the compliment, right? Or they may be like, God bless you, right? And there are so many times that you're going to run into people like this, right? And maybe some of those people have faced challenges where they have been hard on themselves. They don't know how to love themselves and appreciate themselves in the state and position that they're in, right? And I'm not talking about your everyday, oh my God, I just woke up and my hair looks like this, or I didn't wash the crumbs out of my eyes, or, maybe I put too much lip gloss on, or, whatever the case may be. Some people are looking at it as though and as if, I'm going to put this on silent. Some people are looking at it as though and as if, a compliment is a thing that is possibly not true. A lot of times people will see our outer beauty, right? And sometimes that outer beauty is not because we're all done up and looking snazzy and looking good and feeling good. Sometimes it's the appreciation of small things. One of those small things that I'm talking about appreciation of, I will see somebody that has beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gray hair, right? Maybe it's all silver, or it's all gray and it's pretty, and or it's curly and it's gray and it's just beautiful. And for me, my hair on the sides, I haven't cut it yet, but if you see, I have a couple little, spars here and there of little gray hair, right? And so me thinking, oh my gosh, if my hair was all silver like that, if my hair was all, beautiful like that, one color, I might always wear my hair that color. But most times you will find people with that silver or gray hair that don't know how to embrace it, or they feel like it makes them look old, or they feel a certain type of way. They try to color it and everything else. And then you have those people like, honey, I love this gray, because you know what? As a former hairstylist, people pay for that gray, baby. They pay for that gray. All right. So when you're giving somebody a compliment, and I've done it where maybe your look may not be all put together, but honey, that hair color is a blessing. It's so many women and men out here coloring their hair, me included, right? Just to change up the look and to have fun. But some of us are changing our appearance because we feel like it makes us look old, or it makes us look a certain way, right? a lot of times it's really your personality or your energy that may be making you feel low, right? Maybe you're needing some nourishing, you're needing some pouring into. All right. And I know we're just talking about hair color here, but for some of you, it is other aspects and other things that's going on, right? So when I think about nourishing, and everybody has their own definition, but when I think about nourishing, what I think about is a person that is able to show compassion. I think about a person that is ready to love unconditionally, a person that is not ready to draw conclusions on everything that's going on, but a person that is also able to provide solutions, a person that's be able to provide a safe space that says, you know what, you are more than welcome to come into this space, whether you say nothing and you just need a hug, or whether you just need an ear, or whether you just need a shoulder, whatever that is, right? So for me, that's what nourishment may mean. Okay. Now, for me, mothering, right? To me, mothering represents a feminine person, that is also a nourisher, right? It doesn't matter if you are biologically a mother or not. It is somebody, and it does not matter what the age is, okay? Because there is not wisdom in age. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're smarter. Just because you're younger doesn't mean you're dumb, right? Everybody's experience in life is very different. So to me, a mothering nature or another mothering spirit would be that of a person, and if you're a man that's watching this, it would be a fathering nature to me, right? But a father that has the ability to tap into that nourishing feminine energy side, right? That says, I'm here to care for you, I'm here to help you. And that mother has solutions that can help you throughout your experiences. And again, like I said, it doesn't matter what the age, because I've had people 20 in their 20s tell me some brilliant things, and I've had people, in their 70s and 80s tell me some brilliant things. So don't get stuck on numbers, right? If you guys have listened to me before, I don't believe in that whole, oh, you got to be old and you should be old enough to know this and you should be old enough to know that. No, because you can't be old enough to know if you have not yet learned from the experience. Everybody's time frame about learning experiences is going to be different, because you might be older than me, and I feel like I'm further ahead than you because you haven't learned certain lessons. But you may be younger than me and be like, Tina, you 51, you should have learned this by now. But if I have not learned those lessons yet, doesn't mean I'm not smart. Doesn't mean because I'm 51 I should know better. It doesn't mean that. It means I just have not learned how to create a proper solution. And that's what mothers are there for. They're here, there to help you to create solutions in your life when you come to a point where you're standstill. Now, the nourishing part also comes in because there is discipline that needs to take place in your solution, right? And sometimes the word, just saying the word discipline, to me, it used to make me cringe. But to me, discipline now means staying focused on the goal, right? And maybe while we're staying focused on the goal, sometimes we have to reroute. We have to take different avenues. We have to go different directions, right? And maybe we tried going to the right and it didn't work. Maybe we tried going to the left and didn't work. We're not even thinking about the possibility of moving forward by going straight. And so maybe that mother, that nourisher, is saying, you know what, why don't you think about this possibility of going straight? Well, I never thought about going straight. And then the mothering nature, the caring nature that cares about your well-being is going to say, you know what, if you decide to take this avenue, not forcefully, like you better do it and this is what you got to do, and because that doesn't work. At least for me, it doesn't work, right? You want to be able to tell a story. This is how I've been able to share things. You want to be able to tell a story. Sometimes I have certain people in my life that are like, I'm just being blunt. I'm just going to tell the truth and it may come off rude and I don't care. Well, those people I don't really listen to. Even though what they're saying may be a great solution, you got to figure out the communication that is going to be valuable to the person that you are speaking with, the person you're talking to, right? So for a person like myself, if you're rude about it, I'm not going to listen to you, and you may be given a great solution. So for me, let me say it that way. For me, a story time is really good. Let me tell you a story, whether it's a true story or not. As an emotional learner, right? Because you have four different learning styles. You've got audio, you've got visual, and you have kinesthetic, and you have emotional. Emotional learners learn through experience. So it's very important you understand that. Most emotional learners are always also going to learn through storytelling, especially if they have never had the experience before. Or if they've had the experience before and you're familiar with their experience, utilizing a previous experience to connect to something that they're doing currently will help an emotional learner, right? And it doesn't mean that the person is slow, doesn't mean that they're dumb. It just means they learn in a different way. And that's why if you have a lot of people start to pay attention, here's the number one clue. Do you have somebody that's like, ooh, look at this story time. Ooh, listen to this tea time. They're a person that likes watching other emotional experiences of other people's lives to learn from, right? So I'm a huge TV watcher, love watching, what court shows. I love getting the tea. I love seeing the drama, seeing how people are going to work things out. Or if they don't work it out, I'm like, oh, I would have done this because I'm a solutions person, right? Right. So back to the mothering. Kind of got sidetracked, but for those of you that needed it. But for the mothering aspect, right? For those that feel that they utilize or have tapped into their mothering or their nurturing energy, right? I'm going to read from the Daily Wisdom for Women, and it's a practical biblical insight for today's woman. It is a Christian-based book. I utilize all tools that are going to be for benefit. All right. So it's open to, let's see, it says Joel prophesies a final judgment. Hasten and come, all you surrounding nations, and gather yourselves there, bringing down, O Lord, thy mighty ones. Let the nations be aroused and come up to the valley of Josaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the surrounding nations. Joel 3:11-12. Jerusalem will be the site of the world's last and greatest battle as all the surrounding nations rage against the holy city. However, the powerful Almighty God of the universe will intervene on Israel's behalf. And the Lord roars from Zion and utters his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth tremble. But the Lord is a refuge for his people and a stronghold to the sons of Israel. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. So Jerusalem will be holy, and strangers will pass through it no more. John 3:16-18. God gave the prophet Isaiah a similar message. For the law will go forth from Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem, and he will judge between the nations. Isaiah 2, 3-4. When will this last and greatest battle take place? At the end of the age, when Christ comes back to conquer all those who have attempted to ravage his people in their city. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and sitting on the white cloud was one like a son of man, having a golden crown on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand. Revelation 14:14. Here's the prayer. Lord, I don't like to consider the brutality of this final judgment. However, I know that you are fair and just and have given men and women ample time and warning to repent. Okay, that took a left turn, but I'm going to tell you while I was reading that, I'm going to tell you what came forward. There in the state of Texas, where I am from, there was a shooting at a mall in the Allen outlet. So my prayers and thoughts go out to those families, right? Now, part of being mothering and nurturing, right, is the power of prayer. And sometimes we need the power of prayer for justice to be done, to come into place. And if we band all together, then we can pray for the protection. Now, whether this is your belief or not, it's okay, right? But this is a part of nourishing and a part of mothering. When people that you love, and not just children, right? People that you love walk out the door, you pray for them daily, right? A lot of people, I've in this last year, I've experienced various different types of deaths. I've seen a very violent death. I've seen deaths where people have passed away from a disease. I've seen a death where you've passed away from a natural cause. And these are all people that are very in my animal, right? That were all very close to me, right? And I was thinking in that moment when all this tragedy is going on with some of these people and these lives are gone and I'm not knowing what's going on, I'm thinking, what is the lesson in all of this? Like, why does somebody have to go away in order for me to learn a lesson, right? And the very first thing I started thinking is, what is your healing process? How can nourishment during this time help me when it comes to death, right? I have a wonderful group of spiritual women that are in from metaphysical to their different various religious backgrounds, and they all gathered around me to pour in compassion, to pour in understanding, to allow me the safe space to be able to create a solution on how I should heal, as well as give me suggestions on how to heal as well, right? And this is what is needed more than ever, right? So the power of prayer, being around the right people, when you're going through a tragedy, or even when you hear of something like that, like I could only imagine what those families are going through. So my prayers go out to them. While I'm on prayers, I'm going to talk about this real quick. I did a video called Pray, Meditate, Ask. If you need a deeper description of what praying is about, what meditating and how to do it, and asking is all about, you can go back on my YouTube channel, Tina Wolf Book with Tina, and you can watch that particular one. But this is what I'm going to say about prayer. A lot of times we will say, oh yeah, I'm going to pray for you, and then we forget about it. The person wants to know that you're going to pray for them right there. Here are some simple, quick tips in order to do that. All right. One, if you do agree with what the person needs prayer for, you can simply say, you know what, I'm in alignment and agreement with you with the prayer that you shall receive your healing, right? Because where they say where two or more shall gather, it shall happen. And for me, it's just that simple, right? Or sometimes people like, can you pray for me? And depending on what I feel, the discernment of what I feel, I will say, amen. It's already done. Or sometimes I'll just say, amen, I just prayed for you. And it's my way of agreeing, right? Sometimes people need that agreement. Sometimes they don't need the big, long, you sitting here for 10, 15, 17, 18, 19 minutes and years saying a prayer. A lot of times people are asking for confirmation. A lot of times people are asking for agreement, but and they're asking for that on something positive, right? And so they will say prayer, because they're saying, not only do I want you to pray, but I want you to reach out to whatever your belief system is, right? And prayerfully, it is possible. I want you to reach out to whatever your belief system is for your prayer, because I need the help of those higher ascended masters. I need the prayers of you, and I just want you to focus a little bit of your time and energy to help me through this particular experience. And that, to me, is what prayer is about, right? Let's move on to the Trusting God Day by Day, Joyce Meyer. And if for those of you that are like, Tina, are you Christian? No, I'm not Christian, but I do believe in God. All right. My definition of God is the creator of the birds, the trees, the heavens, the earth, all that's in between, the universe, me, you, everything. That's what I believe, right? If you are offended by me utilizing anything that is positive, if it is Buddha, and I'm going to show you guys, because I know you guys can see all my things in the back, right? But I also have statues, anything to me that represents peace, or I get peace, or I feel a great energy and a vibe from, that's what I'm down for. That is what I'm about. Anything that is positive is going to help me grow. And right now, I'm just on a journey in a phase right now where all the messages are coming through right now are from these wonderful books and tools. So we're going to go with that. Trusting God Day by Joyce Meyer. Let's see what she has to say. It says, gird up your mind. It says, therefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and rest your hope fully upon the grace that is to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. First Peter chapter 1, verse 13, NKJV, right? I'm going to just close this door real quick. All right. And let me go to the other side. What did it say down there? Oh, it completely changed when I turned the page. Okay. So what I'm going to say is, it says, happiness comes from serving the Lord, or whatever your belief system is. So insert that here. If you believe in self, you believe in source, then insert that. You believe in Buddha, you believe in Muhammad, you believe in Allah, you believe in whatever you believe in. Insert that here, all right? It says, after these events, God tested and proved Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, here I am. God said, take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering upon one of the mountains of which I tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him and his son Isaac, and he split the wood for the burnt offering, and then began the trip to the place of which God had told him. Genesis 22, 1-3. I believe God was testing Abraham's priorities in this scripture. Isaac had probably become very important to Abraham. So God tested Abraham to see if he would give up Isaac to him in faith and obedience. When God saw Abraham's willingness to obey, he provided a ram for Abraham to sacrifice in place of Isaac. We all go through tests. As with Abraham, these tests are designed to try to prove and develop our faith. One of our tests I had to face was, what if I never have the ministry I dreamed about for so long? What if I never get to minister to more than 50 people at a time? Can I still love God and be happy? What about you? You may want to get married. What if you never get married? Can you be happy anyway? You may want a certain person in your family to change. What if that individual never changes? Can you be happy anyway? You may want to make more money. What if you never make any more money and than what you have right now? Can you be happy anyway? If you don't get whatever it is you want, can you still love God? Will you still serve him all the days of your life? Or are you just trying to get something from him? A fine line divides the motives of the heart between selfish and selfless. We must always make sure we understand which side of the line we are standing on. And the last part says, trust in him. What do you want? If you never get it, can you still love God and trust that he has an even better plan for your life? Okay, so for me, what I gather from that is there are a lot of times when we're going to be asked to do sacrifices, right? We're going to be asked to do sacrifices in life. Now, to me, a sacrifice does not mean killing somebody. It does not mean slaughtering somebody. Everybody has their own interpretation, but I'm always going to come from a place of love and peace. Now, what I gather is, in the short story is, are you happy being who you are, regardless of the situation, right? Can you be happy if your family member never changes and that's who they are? Can you be accepting and just create a solution that says, when I deal with this person, this is how I'm going to deal, utilizing this nurturing, feminine, mothering energy? Can you just decide to send the person compassion? Do I have it up on the wall? Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can turn. I don't know if y'all be able to see it. All right. This is my best friend, Connie. She's passed away. She is now my spirit guide, okay? But right here I have, I attended a program called Avatar a long time ago. It was a wonderful, amazing program. And they have this tool called the Compassion Project, right? Where they have the compassion exercise. So I'm going to read that to you guys. And you can have this part of the video so that you can go back and watch. Because a lot of times when people are going through things and we're wanting change in other people, and this is the part that I'm addressing right now, when you are wanting a change in another person, right, there's a couple things you can do. You can pray for them, or you can stay away from them, or you could do both, right? So the compassion exercise is designed to help you to remember a few things. So we're going to go in this. It says, increase the amount of compassion in the world. The compassion exercise It says this exercise can be done anywhere that people congregate. And it gives examples. It said it should be done on strangers, unobtrusively, from some distance. Try to do all 5 steps on the same person. Expected results are a personal sense of peace. All right. Step 1, with intention, with attention on the person, repeat this to yourself. Just like me, this person is seeking some happiness in his or her life. Something to remember, right? With your attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is trying to avoid suffering in his or her life, right? With attention, I keep saying intention, so I'm just going to go with it. With intention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person has known sadness, loneliness, and despair. Okay, with attention, attention and intention. How about that? We'll go with that. On the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is seeking to fulfill his or her needs. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is learning about life. A lot of times we, tend to forget that people are learning about life going back to the very beginning of the message, right? Now, what parts of your life or what parts of things that you do are you willing to sacrifice, right? Sacrifice means to give up. It can mean to give up temporarily. It can mean to give up permanently, right? Which parts of your life are you willing to sacrifice to stop having an experience that you don't desire? If it's not a pleasant experience and you're having an unpleasant experience in your life and you're facing a challenge, what are you willing to sacrifice and give up? A lot of times when we're having these certain experiences, some of them are not by choice. They're by force. They're things that are out of your control. I was in a car accident, earlier in the week, right? I'm recovering from the pain and the discomfort of the car being hit, right? So I'm recovering from that. Now I could have chose to stay in that state and just focus on the car wreck, focus on, how hurt I was, focus on those things, but I chose to focus on my healing. And I think going backwards, when I learned about the death of my best friend who died of natural causes, right? And my other friend who, she passed away of cancer, right? And then there were other deaths that happened along the way. What I learned was how to heal through those processes of loss. And loss is not always death. Loss can also mean losing a job, losing a relationship, whether it's with family, friend, coworker, or romantic mate. It can mean losing, like the vehicle I lost in the accident, right? Which I know that can be replaced, right? Even though I love my little Lexi, right? I love my car. But what are you willing to sacrifice to make changes in your life to bring positive experiences into your life? If you're watching this and if this resonates with you, maybe it's time to reach out to a mothering, nurturing, feminine energy, right? So it doesn't necessarily just mean women. I mean, women can be that, but some men are very great and wonderful at tapping into their feminine nurturing energy, right? And that's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. I admire that, right? So maybe it's time for you to reach out because maybe there's a pouring into that you need, right? Maybe there's some compassion that you need. If you find yourself being angry or being sad or being upset, right? Because what the experience you're going through, you're pushing people away right now. If you are pushing people away because you're like, I can do this all by myself, I don't need nobody else, right? And you're saying, I don't need nobody else, and you're probably the person that needs the nourishment the most. What happened to you? What happened to you? Why are you in a place of where you feel like you don't need? If this is for you, I'm just going to come through. I'm going to read the last part, Battlefield of the Mind, and then we're going to get up out of here, right? Joyce Meyer, Battlefield of the Mind. These are some great books, you guys. And it talks about, it says, an anxious and worried mind, Let's see what this has to say. Now, just before I get into this, I typically talk about being anxious and having anxiety. To me, and I did have anxiety before, right? And I haven't had like a serious anxiety attack in a very long time, right? Um, but anxiety to me is what I learned through therapy is a series of overwhelming feelings and emotions that are coming through all at one time, right? They're coming through all at one time. You're not able to sort it out. You're not able to sort out where the source of this overwhelming feeling is coming from. Or if you do have that source of knowing where it's coming from, then it's possible that you were unable to create a solution, and because you're able to unable to create a solution, it causes you to panic, right? It causes you to overthink, it causes you to doubt, right, that you have the ability to create a solution and to know what to do. That's what being anxious is all about. To me, the same thing with being depressed. You don't have the solution to create to get yourself out of being stuck in this place, right? And sometimes you do create a solution. To me, I feel like all emotions are somewhat necessary, right? So if you're sad or you're angry or you're disappointed and you have these, if you utilize these emotions for your benefit, right, then it can actually elevate you. If you're sad or you're depressed or you're upset, you're disappointed, you're having any of these emotions, this is a great time to say, I need to create a solution for myself. And although you may be very good at creating solutions, Tina good at creating solutions, but sometimes the most challenging, hardest part is what? Taking the action on the solution that you created. Some people will create the solution or they'll say, oh, I've tried that already, right? And they're saying they tried it already when they only tried it maybe one time. They weren't consistent. They didn't have the discipline, right? And that's where that nourishment, that feminine energy, that mothering energy comes into play to encourage you to, hey, you can do this, right? And you be strong and steadfast, be disciplined, right? Pray. Don't allow the negative experience to have a stronghold on you. You get a stronghold on it, right? The worried part. To me, worried means we're not trusting the process and we don't know the outcome. So if you're worried, you're not trusting the process, you don't know the outcome. So you're constantly trying over and over again to create a solution on your own. And this is why you're stuck. Go to whatever your belief system is. Pray to God, pray to Buddha, pray to Allah, pray to, whoever you're going to pray to, source energy, Oshun, whoever you're going to pray to, right? And then you have to allow that process to take place. Things are going on behind the scenes that you can't see, but just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not working in progress, right? So let's go to this. It's chapter 12 in this book, and it says, an anxious and worried mind. Anxiety and worry are both attacks on the mind intended to distract us from serving the Lord, right? Or creating solutions for your purpose in life or for whatever experience you're going through right now. The enemy also uses both of these torments to press our faith down so it cannot rise up and help us to live in victory. Now, what is faith? Faith is the belief that something is is going to be okay, right? Faith is also the belief that everything is going to be okay, including my higher power, right? So for faith, if it says the enemy also uses both of these torments to press our belief that something is going to be okay down, right? So it cannot rise up and help us live in victory, which means we've created the solution. The outcome that we want is going to happen, or it has happened. And when we have those victories, we need to celebrate and acknowledge, okay? Some people have such a problem with worry that it might even be said that they are addicted to worrying. If they do not have something of their own to worry about, they will worry over someone else's situation. I had this problem, so I am well qualified to describe the condition. Because I was constantly worrying about something, I never enjoyed the peace that Jesus died for me to have. It is absolutely impossible to worry and live in peace at the same time. Okay, so I want to go over something real quick. Last night I was watching TV with my wonderful mother, and we were watching Fantasy Island. And on Fantasy Island, there were these three women that had decided that they were going to go on this trip to Fantasy Island and they were going to be who they wanted to be, they were going to be who they wanted to be for their 50th birthday. One girl wanted to be skinny, another one wanted to have happy, another one, they all wanted their things, all the things that they wanted, right? And so they were having this wonderful time, but then this argument broke out. You had one lady in particular who she was always trying to fix everybody else. She was always trying to come up with solutions to fix everybody else, right? And you may be thinking, Tina, but isn't that what a part of mothering is? Isn't that what a part of nourishing is? Isn't that what a part of feminine energy is fixing people? No. Having compassion and understanding, providing solution for those that are ready, providing a safe space for them to have an outlet. That is what the mothering and the nourishing and having the feminine energy is about. It is not about fixing everybody and worrying about fixing everybody. So in this TV show, right, her two best friends, they were constantly arguing and arguing and arguing. She was constantly having to mediate. She was always sacrificing herself, which we talked about sacrifice earlier, right? We're always giving up. She was always giving up what she wanted. She was always giving up so that she could fix these people, right? And then the people didn't even appreciate. They didn't even appreciate the fact that she was sacrificing herself for them, right? Because when you're trying to be a martyr and you're sacrificing yourself for everybody and you feel like you're not being appreciated, it's because you're going into rooms and you're creating solutions for people that did not ask you for it. And just because you see somebody having a problem doesn't mean you have to create a solution for them. That can actually cause animosity. And then it can also create a space of, you don't trust me to make my own decisions, whether that person makes a mistake or not, right? So later on in the show, the ladies were arguing, and the one lady, she was trying to mediate, girls, let's not. So Miss Rourke, right? She steps in and she says, ladies. It's 9 p.m. and there is no arguing after 9 p.m. There's no arguing after 9 p.m. They all stop. She goes, I'm going to bed, right? And she goes, no. You guys are getting ready to go somewhere, right? And with a snap, they were at a funeral. There was a casket there. And they were like, I wonder who's in the casket. And everybody started saying, oh, well, maybe it's me. Oh, well, maybe it's me. And maybe it's me. When they went to open up the casket, spoiler alert if you watch Fantasy Island. When they went to open up the casket, you know who was in there? It wasn't the two that was arguing. No. It was the one that was mediating, trying to worry about everybody else's life, trying to solve everybody else's problem. She was in there. And who did she leave behind? She sacrificed herself and she left her children behind. She sacrificed herself and she left her family behind. She sacrificed herself and she left her friends behind because she could not find the balance between nourishing, mothering, having this feminine energy, and having the desire to fix everything that was going on in everybody's life, to the point where she died. And where she died was because she was so worried about fixing everybody else. And that can have problems in your body. Emotions have problems they manifest through your body, through pain, through disease, right? So Once she saw herself in that casket, she's like, oh my God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And her friends were both looking, and they looked out in the audience to see who all was there. And she goes, wait a minute, is that me? Wait a minute, is that me? And then they started talking about each other and fighting at this woman's funeral. You still fighting. And this woman is like, you know what? I'm not gonna die being a mediator for you guys and trying to fix everybody. I'm out. I can't believe this. And she leaves. She goes to Miss Rourke. She goes, Miss Rourke, I need you to fix my friends. And Miss Rourke is like, this ain't about fixing your friends. What you mean? It's not about fixing your friends. This is about putting yourself first. This is about taking care of yourself first, right? This is what this is about. And you're supposed to be taking care of yourself first. And because you sacrifice yourself for everybody else and creating solutions for everybody else, and you're trying to fix everybody else, you neglected yourself. So the lady decided, you know what? Let me make some phone calls. You about to take on some of this parenting. I need an assistant at work. Sign me up for that fitness trainer. I need to start taking care and putting myself first. So when she went back and she explained to her friends that she had made a decision in her life to put herself first, they said, you know what, we're sorry. And we've realized some things about ourselves first. And so that trip to Fantasy Island turned out to be a good one, right? Mothering and nourishing and being in your feminine energy does not mean sacrificing yourself and fixing everybody else's problems. I'm going to go skip straight to the back of this, okay? And then we're going to close this out. It says worry defined. Webster defines the word worry as follows. Number 1, to feel uneasy or troubled. Then it also says, number 1, to cause to feel anxious, distressed, or troubled. Number 2, a source of nagging concern. I have also heard it defined as to torment oneself with disturbing thoughts. Okay? When I saw the part about tormenting oneself with disturbing thoughts, I decided right then and there that I am smarter than that. I believe every Christian is. I think believers have more wisdom than to sit around and torment themselves. Worry certainly never makes anything better, so why not give it up? Another part of the definition from the Random House Unabridged Dictionary also enlightened me. To seize by the throat with teeth and shake or mangle as one animal does another, or to harass by repeated biting and snapping. Pondering this definition, I made the following correlation. The devil uses worry to do to us precisely what is described above. When we have had a bout with worry for even a few hours, that is exactly how we feel, as if someone had had us by the throat and shaken us until we are totally worn out and mangled. The repetition of thoughts that come and won't let up are like the repeating, biting, and snapping described in this definition. Worry is definitely an attack from Satan upon the mind. There are certain things the believer is instructed to do with his mind, and the enemy wants to make sure that they are never done. Excuse me. So the devil attempts to keep the mental arena busy enough with the wrong kinds of thinking, so the mind never gets around to being used for the purpose for which God designed it. Now, for those of you that are anxious and worrying, those of you that are not utilizing your own personal nourishment and your own mothering to mother yourself and nourish yourself, right? And stand in that feminine energy and balance, whether you are a man or woman, right? You need to gain that balance for yourself first so that you are able to have compassion for others and understanding. If you want to be that person that people come to, right? and you want to be that person that people trust with decisions and creating solutions in their life, then you have to offer this balance of feminine energy that is going to not only allow them to listen to you, but to want to take action, right? And remember, just because you give a solution does not mean they have to take the solution. The whole point of providing the nourishing and the wisdom that you're going to give to them is so that they can move forward in their life without worry, without being anxious, and with being able to have the opportunity to learn how to create solutions for themselves, right? I love you guys. I went a bit longer than 30 minutes today, but sometimes you just got to go with the flow. I love you. Be awesome. Be amazing. Make sure you compliment at least 10 people a day, because you never know whose life you can change. You never know whose vibration you can raise up. And you never know what door of opportunity you can open up by simply paying a compliment. Go out there, put yourself first, be loving, kind, and compassionate to others. Stop sacrificing yourself and worrying about others, and start praying, meditating, and asking for the proper solutions for yourself and others today. If you need help, I got you. Go to bookwithtina.com and let's work out some of these solutions together. All right. I love you. Bye bye. Have a great day.